Good evening, everyone. Welcome to EmoNews. I'm your presenter, Rick Francis, and this is the news broadcast for the 30th of September 2025. Let's take a look at the headlines. Pathfinder clubs in Dominica celebrate 75 years of pathfinding. Prime Minister addresses rising violence, confirms RSS presence in Dominica. White Sunset 2025 media launch and sponsors mixer held in Roseau. Grenada makes history at CAC Bodybuilding Championship. St. Lucia launches tree crop expansion and rehabilitation project. Afghanistan plunged into nationwide internet blackout. And car bombing in Pakistan kills 10, dozens wounded. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for being with us this evening. In local news, the Pathfinder Club, a global youth ministry of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, this year celebrates 75 years of pathfinding, a legacy of nurturing the spiritual, social, physical, and leadership growth of young people. On Saturday, September 20, 2025, Pathfinder clubs around the world observed World Pathfinder Day, held annually on the third Sabbath of September. This year's celebration carried the theme Pathfinders on Purpose, a reminder of the values, spirit, and mission of the Pathfinder Club. Across churches and communities worldwide, Pathfinders and adventurers gathered to reflect, celebrate, and recommit themselves to purposeful service and growth. In Dominica, the 75th anniversary was celebrated with vibrant community outreach led by the 13 active Pathfinder clubs across the island. Members gathered at 3 main locations where they visited neighborhoods, delivered gift baskets, and carried out service activities to give back to their communities. In Salisbury, clubs joined together for a colorful march and open-air program featuring music, inspirational messages, and the distribution of food baskets to families in need. In Roseau, the celebration included a march and mini concert that concluded with a community open-air meeting in Tarish Pit. Meanwhile, in the north, activities also took place in Dodan, highlighting the nationwide spirit of unity and purposeful service. Over the years, the Pathfinder Club has played a vital role in supporting young persons to develop strong leadership abilities, preparing them to serve both within Dominica and across the globe. Many past members have gone on to excel in church, community, and professional leadership roles. As part of this year's National Youth Independence celebrations, the Pathfinder movement in Dominica will acknowledge its 75th anniversary with a joint squad of Pathfinders, master guides, and adventurers marching together in unity, representing the strength, purpose, and legacy of the club. Let's hear from Pastor Sean Shepherd, National Youth Director.
I'm Pastor Sean Shepherd, Youth Director of the East Caribbean Conference. It gives me great purpose to tell you of the Pathfinder Club of Dominica. In celebration of 75 years of life-changing impact that already shaped thousands of young people, we are yet again extending to our communities all over Dominica invitation to all like-minded young people within the ages of 10 to 16 to come and to join our Pathfinder clubs. We, the Pathfinder body, recommit to continue guidance, building of strong characters in our youth with resilience and faithfulness in God. As we this year celebrate 75 years under the theme Pathfinder on Purpose, we look forward to many more years of impact in the lives of our youths in Dominica and across the world. So we are looking to have you to come celebrate, but even so, come and experience God in a marked and wonderful way. God bless you. In Jesus' name.
The Pathfinder clubs of Dominica remain committed to empowering young people and fostering a culture of service, faith, leadership, and excellence. The Prime Minister of Dominica has addressed the recent increase in violence on the island, calling on citizens to join in building a culture of peace and tolerance. Speaking at a government press conference, he assured the public that his administration remains committed to ensuring the safety and security of all Dominicans. The Prime Minister outlined measures taken in recent months to strengthen law enforcement, including tackling the illegal use of firearms and equipping the police with greater resources. He emphasized the government will continue to provide the training, tools, and technology necessary to detect and prevent crime and bring offenders to justice. He also reiterated that combating violence is not solely a government responsibility, but a shared duty. Parents, churches, schools, civil society, business leaders, and community leaders all have a role to play in shaping values, guiding young people, and rejecting the culture of violence.
Record again my condemnation in the strongest possible terms of all acts of violence which bring pain and fear to our communities. Violence has no place in our society, and I call on every citizen to join in building a culture of peace and tolerance. As a government, we remain committed to ensuring the safety and security of every Dominican. In recent months, we have taken steps to strengthen law enforcement's ability to curb violent crime, including measures to address the illegal use of firearms and improve the resources available to the police force. These are important steps, but we recognize that more can always be done and more must always be done. We will therefore continue to support the police with the training, tools, and technology needed to detect and prevent crime and to bring offenders to justice. The protection of our people and the preservation of peace in our communities will remain a top priority for this government. I want to reiterate that while government will continue to take a zero-tolerance approach to violent crime, this is not solely a Skerrit matter or a government matter. It is the responsibility of every Dominican to play their part in protecting our communities. Parents, churches, schools, civil society, and the community leaders and the business leaders all have an important role to play in shaping values, guiding our young people, and rejecting the culture of violence.
The Prime Minister has also confirmed that as part of these efforts, the Regional Security System, RSS, has been invited to work alongside the Dominica Police Force to help curb violent crime and address the presence of illegal firearms in the country.
On advice of the Chief of Police, the Minister of National Security, which is required an agreement, has invited the RSS to join the police in our efforts towards eradicating the presence of illegal firearms in the country. And so the police can give you more information on this. But yes, the RSS is in Dominica, and the RSS is here to support the police in eradicating the presence of illegal firearms.
Finance Minister Dr. Irvin McIntyre has encouraged Dominicans to use this year's independence season as an opportunity to foster unity and collaboration. He delivered the call during the official launch of the independence celebrations.
Our progress requires partnership between government and citizens, between the private sector and civil society, between communities and the diaspora. Independence calls us unified, unity, and collaboration. It is a combined effort of citizens who share their success. And when we stand together, when we collaborate and pool our talents, there is no limit to what Dominica can achieve. Let this independence season strengthen our patriotism. Let us wear our national colors with pride sing our songs with joy, and honor our cultural traditions. But above all, let us commit to working together, hand in hand, to continue shaping the future of our beloved nation.
The media launch and sponsors mixer for the 4th annual White Sunset charity event took place last evening at the Vibe inside the Realm. Paul Phillip, chairperson of White Sunset Planning Committee, gave the welcome and a brief overview of White Sunset.
Welcome you to the media launch of the 4th annual White Sunset charity event. This moment is very special to us, as it represents the unveiling of months of planning, partnership, and preparation. Tonight we stand together not only to announce an event, but to celebrate the spirit of collaboration that makes White Sunset possible. To our sponsors and our partners who are here with us, and to those joining us virtually, we thank you. You are more than just sponsors or businesses who are making a financial in-kind contribution towards White Sunset. We proudly call you partners in social impact. Your commitment makes this event a success, and more importantly, your support ensures that the impact of White Sunset continues to reach and uplift our community. What makes White Sunset unique is that it's more than just another independent season event. It is a space where Dominicans at home and those returning for the independent celebrations, alums of the Dominica State College, and visitors and supporters can gather to have a great time, embrace culture, and most importantly, give back to the community.
The event brought together sponsors, partners, beneficiaries of the 2025 Community Social Impact Grant, and members of the press. It served as an opportunity to celebrate partnerships, share impact stories, and officially launch White Sunset 2025.
So I want to say thank you very much to our partner sponsors, Do It Center, so the representative of Do It Center, the lovely Lillian. Representing Oyo in his beautiful branded shirt. Yes. I want to say thank you very much to the National Bank and all the lovely things that they're doing in the community. The beautiful Michelle.
Over the years, proceeds from White Sunset have supported charitable institutions. At this year's launch, impact stories were shared by beneficiaries of the 2024-2025 Community Impact Grant, including the Dominica Association of Persons with Disabilities, DAPD, and Circle of Friends, Inc.
Their mission connected with the mission of Circle of Friends and wrote a project for the 3rd phase, because here we had a curriculum and we had teaching resources, but we were not going to give it to teachers, because I'm a teacher trainer myself. And if you give teachers equipment without equipping them how to do it, it's just going to stay there. And so here was the opportunity to write a project to train the teachers to use the materials. And we were very, very excited when we got the news that we were selected for that project. So, because of the tickets that were sold and because of those of you who supported White Sunset, we were able to train teachers, and not just teachers from the Achievement Learning Center. We were able to train teachers from the Alpha Center, and we were able to train teachers from the Kainago Territory Special Ed School. We at DAPD, we do different trainings for people with disabilities, not just our members. And we had that project, our ICT project, and we submitted it, and when we got that we were successful, we were like, yes, because people with disabilities, it was for all persons with disabilities, all types of disabilities. And people with disabilities
the way the world going with technology, we say we have to do something with our members who are not yet on board. So that is why we submitted that project. And more than 3/4 of our participants were blind people. So now we can say that we have at least 3-4 blind people who can use the computer as any normal seeing person. And with that, we submitted our project, but we still, in that, we squeeze for us to get more, for us to include more. So we included one more participant, and we had one more facilitator. So we squeezed what we had to make it stretch, and it stretched. And we want to say, well, personally want to say, everybody who is hearing my voice, get your tickets if you haven't gotten your ticket as yet. Bring along 2 friends, and next year, the venue has to change to the stadium. Thank you.
Also in local news, the 29th of September is observed globally as World Heart Day, a time to reflect on the importance of heart health for the benefit of humanity and nature. The day focuses on educating people about the signs and symptoms of cardiovascular diseases and ways to prevent complications. This year's observance also highlighted the importance of adopting a healthy lifestyle to prevent and manage heart-related conditions. Let's now hear from Dominica's own cardiologist, Michael Reef.
My name is Dr. Michael Reef, trained cardiologist, and I'm also a member of staff of the Dominica China Friendship Hospital. We are celebrating World International Heart Day. And in celebration of World International Heart Day, I would like to leave you guys with 7 warning signs of a heart attack. A heart attack is a condition characterized by death of the myocardium. It is also known as myocardial infarction. Myocardial infarctions occur generally in persons who have a history of hypertension, diabetes, smoking, or high cholesterol. We have 7 warning signs of heart attack. What are they? It is said in the US that a heart attack occurs every 40 seconds. Internationally, there are 9 million deaths due to myocardial infarction every year. Our 7 warning signs are: 1, and most typical, chest pain. Patients often describe these chest pains as tightness or squeezing or pressure-like feeling in the middle of the chest. Some patients may even describe it as an elephant sitting on the chest, radiating to the left shoulder, arm, and in many cases, the jaw. The second sign of a heart attack is shortness of breath. A sudden onset shortness of breath in context of a patient with hypertension, diabetes, history of smoking, and any of the previous risk factors that I mentioned is often enough associated with the appearance of a myocardial infarction. This results as a complication of the myocardial infarction being heart failure, where the heart fails and blood ends up backing up into our lungs, presenting and manifesting as shortness of breath. Palpitations is the next common presentation in patients with heart attack. Palpitation is a perception of a patient that their heart is racing. This often results as a result of the appearance of malignant arrhythmias like ventricular tachycardias, ventricular tachycardias, and ventricular fibrillations, which are malignant arrhythmias which could be potentially fatal. Our 4th sign being nausea and vomiting. Nausea and vomiting, although are very common symptoms associated with many other conditions. Patients who are in context of hypertension and diabetes who have these histories often can present with those symptoms of nausea and vomiting as a result of parasympathetic stimulation. A 5th sign being dizziness, or lightheadedness. Dizziness and lightheadedness can occur as a result of a failed heart, resulting in decreased blood flow to the brain, and these patients often feel lightheaded or in many cases present with syncopal episodes of fainting. Sixth sign is cold sweat. Cold sweat usually occurs in many patients as a result of sympathetic stimulation, quite the opposite to nausea and vomiting, where there's activation of our nervous system, and that manifests as profuse sweating, or what we call cold sweat. Alright? And our seventh sign is fatigue or tiredness. Fatigue or tiredness occurs due to extensive myocardial death or heart death, resulting in decreased blood flow to peripheral muscles. So, the next time you encounter a known hypertensive, diabetic, or someone with a history of smoking who presents with any of those 7 signs, ensure that you take them to your nearest cardiologist and hospital.
As part of the activities, the Delices Primary School hosted a special cardio session with JJ Fitness in recognition of World Heart Day. The newly launched Trade Union Congress, TUC, is aiming to redefine the landscape for workers in Dominica. Among the featured speakers at the event was Mr. Mervyn Alexander, president of the Dominica Association of Teachers. He called the launch an honor and a privilege and described the Congress as a symbol of the continued fight for justice, equality, and dignity for all workers. He praised the global labor movement's legacy of courage and resilience, calling trade unions lifelines that secure safer conditions, better pay, and a brighter future, acknowledging the growing challenges of globalization and economic shifts. Mr. Alexander expressed hope that the Congress will unite workers in shared struggle and vision.
I dare say, trade unions are not just institutions, they are lifelines for workers. They give us strength in numbers, amplify our voices, and ensure that no one stands alone in the face of adversity. They fight for better living wages, safer workplaces, and assist in ensuring secure futures for workers.
And on Monday, 21 families received keys for their new resilient homes in Scott's Head. Parliamentary Representative Dennis Charles Pemberton praised the government's commitment to its people.
Today we are witnessing the fulfillment of a promise made to the people of Scott's Head. Some of you lost everything in just a few hours during Hurricane Maria. Some slept on balconies for years, wondering if home ownership would ever be possible. But Bodye, this Labour Party government made sure your dream became a reality. No more families crammed into one small room. No more fear when heavy rain falls. Today is your new beginning. Celebrate your homes. Celebrate your peace of mind. Celebrate knowing that your children can finally sleep safe at night. I remember the devastation after Maria, the fear, the uncertainty. Many still carry scars. Many still need help. But hear me well, don't lose hope.
your Labour Party government will keep working until every family feels safe, until every family moves to the next level. That is my commitment to you.
One recipient expressed heartfelt gratitude for her home.
Living close to the sea was a threat, especially during the hurricane season. Whenever I would hear the weather report saying that a storm or hurricane is heading, I would be afraid, especially seeing that I have a daughter with a disability. Remembering last year, July, during the storm of Beryl, I had to cross through the little wave in the yard with my daughter. Today, I can say once again, my pal rep and the Prime Minister has done it again. With joy and gratitude, I want to say thank you guys. No more fear of living by the sea or thinking of moving before the storm. The only thing I wish that my mom was here to witness us moving into our new home. She would say, merci Bodier, pour gouvernement. Once again, I want to say a big thank you to the Prime Minister and Honorable Dennis Charles Pemberton, my pal rep. Thank you guys so much.
And now for regional news. Dr. Wendell Samuel, Acting Assistant Secretary General for Economic Integration, Innovation and Development at the CARICOM Secretariat, responded that the region's food security initiative has begun to bear fruit. He made the remarks at the opening of the 19th Caribbean Week of Agriculture in St. Kitts and Nevis on September 29, 2025, where over 400 delegates are attending. Launched in 2021, the 2025 program set out to cut the region's food import bill by 25% by 2025. Dr. Samuel highlighted key achievements, including major investment in agriculture, new regional trade and safety policies, a US $100 million agriculture loan fund, and private sector projects in dairy, poultry, and greenhouse technology. He emphasized that the effort will now extend to 25% by 2025 plus 5. A renewed push to consolidate gains and build long-term resilience by 2030. Food and nutrition security is not optional. It is essential to our economic stability, social well-being, and environmental resilience, Dr. Samuel said, calling on all stakeholders to embrace the vision.
2025 by 2025 plus 5 is therefore more than a target. It is a strategic framework for action, focusing on some key outcomes, including scaling of priority commodities such as poultry, small ruminants, root crops, fruits and vegetables, embracing climate-smart agriculture to counter the risk of drought, flooding and hurricanes. Harnessing digital technology and innovation to improve productivity, traceability, and access to markets. Ensuring inclusion by empowering our youth. Supporting women entrepreneurs and strengthening the role of farmers and fishers who are the backbone of our food systems. Achieving these ambitions requires strong partnership. Governments, the private sector, financial institutions, and development partners must work together to mobilize investment, transfer knowledge, and create the enabling environment for agribusiness to thrive.
And news coming from St. Lucia. St. Lucia is taking major steps to strengthening its agricultural sector through the tree crop expansion and rehabilitation project, which aims to support farmers, boost production, and expand market opportunities. A recent ceremony brought together government officials, project partners, and farmers to formalize agreements under the initiative.
St. Lucia is taking major steps to strengthening its agricultural sector through the tree crop expansion and rehabilitation project, with new partnerships aimed at supporting farmers, boosting production, and expanding market opportunities. A recent ceremony brought together government officials, project partners, and farmers to formalize agreements under the project. The initiative is designed to enhance the cultivation of fruits and tree crops, provide technical and market support, and ensure sustainable livelihoods for rural communities. Key crops targeted under the project include breadfruit, coconut, soursop, and avocado. By providing tree crop plants, training, and technical guidance, the Agriculture Ministry aims to help farmers meet both domestic and regional demands while encouraging innovation and value-added production.
We also need to create livelihoods in terms of job opportunities and to ensure that our food is secure. And so this is what this particular project is about. Restoring these valley lands and ensuring that there are crops growing, being cultivated, and that you could make money off of the land and not just allow it to sit there.
The Tree Crop Expansion and Rehabilitation Project emphasizes the importance of partnership and collaboration, ensuring farmers have both the knowledge and the resources to maximize their yields and income. Minister for Agriculture, Fisheries, Food Security and Rural Development, Honorable Alfred Prosper, in highlighting the national gains supporting tree crops, says the initiative contributes to food security, strengthens local economies, and fostering community resilience across the island.
That this project is so important for us as a ministry, for our food security, for reducing our food import bill, and to ensure that our farmers continue to generate an income from agriculture. Roseau is a specifically selected site. Roseau is known to be very fertile. It has the right soils. It is ideal for the inclusion or the introduction of machinery and a range of technical activities that will make this project a success.
The ceremony highlighted a strong partnership between the ministry and farmers, signaling a brighter and more sustainable future for the agricultural sector in St. Lucia.
And now for international news. Afghanistan experienced a nationwide internet shutdown after the Taliban announced plans to cut access as part of a crackdown on what it described as immoral activities, raising fears of deeper isolation for the country's 43 million citizens. Internet watchdog NetBlocks confirmed late Monday that multiple networks and some telephone services were disconnected, calling it a total internet blackout. Afghans overseas reported being unable to contact relatives, while flight data on Tuesday morning showed several inbound flights to Kabul and being cancelled. Let's hear from CNN Evan Watson.
The Taliban has shut down internet across Afghanistan as part of what it describes as morality measures. The internet watchdog NetBlocks has documented that connectivity has plummeted to nearly zero. So what does that mean for around 43 million Afghan citizens? We simply don't know. No video and very little information is getting out, and that may be intentional. What we do know is that this is one of the most extensive telecoms shutdowns since the Taliban swept back to power in 2021. It's also a return to their previous playbook. Wind the clock back a quarter century. The Taliban once outlawed television and satellite dishes, alleging they went against Islamic teachings. With the latest blackout, NGOs and media organizations inside Afghanistan have been cut off. Meanwhile, Afghans living abroad have lost contact with their families inside Afghanistan, and they now face an anguished wait, trying to hear from their loved ones by any means possible.
Madagascar President Andry Rajoelina announced the dissolution of his government on Monday, following 3 days of youth-led protests over water and power cuts, which the United Nations says have left at least 22 dead and over 100 injured. The demonstrations, inspired by similar youth movements in Kenya and Nepal, are the largest the island has seen in years and the most serious challenge to Rajoelina since his 2023 re-election. Speaking on state television, Rajoelina apologized for government shortcomings, pledged dialogue with young people, and promised support for businesses affected by looting. I understand the anger and suffering caused by these service disruptions, he said. The UN attributed casualties to security forces, looting, and unrest. Though Madagascar's government rejected the figures as inaccurate, protests continued despite a curfew, with demonstrators waving placards and singing the national anthem before police fired tear gas to disperse crowds. A powerful car bomb outside the Frontier Constabulary headquarters in Quetta, Pakistan, killed at least 10 people and injured 30 others on Tuesday, officials said. Before the explosion, up to 6 militants exited the vehicle and engaged security forces in a fierce gunfight, leaving all attackers dead. The blast, heard miles away, caused significant damage to nearby buildings, and most victims were civilians. Despite the target being a parliamentary base, no group has claimed responsibility. Those separate militants in insurgency hit Bakulastan as suspected. Provincial officers warned the death toll could rise as investigations continue. And that's all for international news. Stay tuned for the sports segment after this short message.
Something big is coming to Dominica. A game for the people, by the people. Are you ready to match 5?
And welcome to the sports segment. It was a dominant performance on Friday night in Game 3 of the Division 1 finals as the Dr. Daru PSC Falcons 2 soared past the West Coast Ballers with a commanding 72-52 victory. Zach Bastian led the way for the Falcons, dropping 26 points, followed by Karim Daniel with 19, while Yawani Regis and Meshach Dubole added 7 and 6 points respectively. Despite a strong effort from the ballers, including 17 points from Sharon Vidal and support from Dean Vidal, Sherman Casimir, and Shalon Vidal, they couldn't hold off the Falcons' momentum. With this win, the Dr. Daru PSC Falcons 2 sweep the series 3-0, clinching the DABA Division 1 Playoff Championship in spectacular fashion. Also in basketball news, basketball fans were treated to a nail-biting showdown on Saturday at 8 p.m. as the Detroit Blazers edged past the BAA Sharks with a final score of 73-70 in a tightly contested battle. Leading the charge for the Blazers was Sergi Joseph, who put up an impressive 22 points, supported by Lester Langley with 13, Kirby Nathan with 12, and Donnie Robinson adding 8. The Sharks didn't go down without a fight. Christian Scotland had a standout performance with 26 points, while Jaden Scotland and Nestor James contributed 11 apiece, and Jamal Peltier chipped in 8. With this crucial win, the Detroit Blazers retained the DABA Premier League regular season championship, solidifying their dominance heading into the postseason. This title win under the Dominica Amateur Basketball Association marks a significant milestone for the team and their supporters. Backed by sponsor Dr. Kenneth Daru, the Falcons are flying high and ready to defend the crown next season. Once again, congratulations to the 2025 DABA Division 1 champions, the Dr. Daru PSC Falcons. Grenada delivered a standout performance at the 2025 CAC Bodybuilding and Fitness Championship in St. Lucia, capturing 2 pro cards and 4 gold medals. Andrew Hyacinth, Grenada's 2024 Bodybuilder of the Year, won the overall bodybuilding title and a pro card, while Odell Cato earned a pro card after taking the men's physique overall title. Newcomers Karen Collier and Javan Joseph also impressed, winning gold in the junior men's bodybuilding and junior men's physique categories. Supported by coaches and sponsors, Team Grenada's achievements have cemented the island as a rising powerhouse in regional bodybuilding. And this brings us to the end of the sports segment. Stay tuned for the weather report from the Dominica Meteorological Service after this short message.
I raised up in a poor family, I would say. So it was always my dream. I said that's the first thing I want to achieve after settling into a job. I want to own a home. Biggest fear, I would say, on a little salary, you want to build a home. Who is going to give you a loan to build a home on a little salary? So that was my biggest fear. I went to NBD to get something done, not thinking of going to do a mortgage with NBD. And surprisingly, the person I met was an old friend. She listens. She gets into your story, and I could not resist. I just had to go with NBD. My home building journey was a smooth one. I had good builders, and when you can trust certain people with your money, because we see what happened now when you give people your money to build. But these people were people I could trust. Hug me, hug me. We did this. And I was so happy. I was just thankful. So getting in here to sign while I was teary, I was happy. It may not be a mansion, but it's comfort for you. And I was just so happy. Just putting on that light, I was just happy. To come in there and watch what they did, I was overjoyed. I am Lynn Bellot, and I am a homeowner. If I can do it, you can do it too. Start your journey today with NBD.
Good day to you. This is the weather broadcast from the Mesh Studio at Jimmy for today, September 30th, the last day of September of 2025. We start off today with a look at the tropics, and in the southwestern Atlantic, we find hurricanes Humberto and Imelda. Humberto is expected to move to the north and east of Bermuda, while Imelda is expected to directly affect the island of Bermuda over the coming days. And as we move on to our area, no tropical disturbances are being monitored for tropical cyclone development at this time between the Lesser Antilles and the coast of Africa. And as we move on now to our satellite imagery for today, in the central Atlantic near 50 to 55 degrees west, we find the axis of a tropical wave. This wave is expected to move slowly across the central Atlantic and begin to affect parts of the Lesser Antilles late Wednesday into Thursday. Meanwhile, today across the Lesser Antilles, a low-level trough moved across the island chain during the early hours of this morning, and we find this area of convection which is trailing the surface trough and is affecting Dominica and the rest of the Lesser Antilles today. And as we zoom in closer to home, we see that clouds associated with that area of moisture has resulted in periods of cloudiness across parts of the island throughout the morning so far. And our radar imagery indicated that most communities would have experienced some sort of shower activity, with light to moderate showers being observed particularly in the northeastern and southeastern communities. Very slight Saharan dust is being observed across the area today, and dust concentrations are expected to diminish over the next 24 hours. So the forecast for tonight, moisture trailing this low-level trough is expected to continue to move across the area, resulting in partly cloudy to cloudy skies with a few showers and a slight chance of isolated thunderstorms. Some slight dust set is expected to linger tonight into tomorrow. Temperatures are expected to be down to about 24 degrees Celsius, 23 degrees Celsius on the eastern coast, and 21 degrees Celsius in the interior. And over the next 3 days, tomorrow Wednesday, some weak instability is expected to persist tomorrow, resulting in partly cloudy to occasionally cloudy skies with a few showers. A slight chance of isolated thunderstorms expected to be maintained. By Thursday, as a tropical wave affects the area, an increased chance of showers and thunderstorms are expected. And on Friday, the passage of a low to upper level trough, that is a trough system, is also expected to maintain the instability across the area, resulting in partly cloudy to cloudy skies, scattered showers with a chance of thunderstorms. Over the next 3 days, temperatures are expected to remain warm, with our daytime highs peaking to about 33 degrees Celsius and our nighttime lows down to about 24 degrees Celsius in coastal communities. Winds are expected to remain light over the 3-day period, about 15 to 20 kilometers per hour. And our seas are expected to remain relatively flat, peaking to near 5 feet along the eastern coastline. The sun will rise tomorrow at 5:55 a.m. and will set at 5:55 p.m. The first high tide today will be at 1:09 p.m. and the first low tide at 6:25 a.m. To remember, for updated information, you can join us in our WhatsApp channel. You can gain access by scanning this QR code, or visit our Facebook or Instagram platforms at Dominica Met, or visit our website at weather.gov.dm. Remember that we are still in the hurricane season. The country should stay informed and stay hydrated. Thank you for joining us today. Until next time.
Thank you, Dominica Met, for tonight's weather update. With that said, this wraps up tonight's news package for the 30th of September 2025. I'm your presenter, Rick Francis, and on behalf of the entire newscast, we say thank you for viewing and have a good night.